Hey, good evening, Maples family. Thanks for checking us out tonight for our Maples Connect. Good to have Sam back. How are you? Sam? Good to have you back.
I am so glad to be back.
How was your class?
It was hard.
Tell them what the class was.
So the class, it's an interfaith elective I had to take, and I wanted to do an immersion course this summer, but because of COVID, I couldn't do it. So I took a class on the traditional religions of Africa, and so Stephen kind of warned me about intensive classes, saying, "Hey, man, they're intense." They're not intense. They're intense. I mean, 4 hours a night, and then all the work you got to do during the day. The last 2 weeks have been a blur. So it is awesome to be back with y'all here today. So
Feel better?
I feel great. Yes.
Good. Yeah, we're glad to have Sam back. The devotion tonight, I've got the devotion, right? I'm doing the devotion.
You do?
I got
Yes.
the devotion. Okay. So I'm going to be following up on Sunday, again, with some of the scripture that we had Sunday. So I'm going to be going to Romans chapter 12, and I'm going to be picking up there, and I'm going to ask you to follow along with me. Romans chapter 12, verses 1 to maybe a little bit more. So hang with us on it, okay? Therefore, I urge you, brethren, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies as a living and holy sacrifice, acceptable to God, which is your spiritual service of worship. And do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may prove what the will of God is, that which is good and acceptable and perfect. Now, I want to talk to you about metrics. Do you know what a metric is, Sam?
Sounds like some sort of measurement.
It is a measurement, a metric. We hear the word metric system, which is, the units, the kilo. Sam, can we be heard? Can y'all hear us?
Sounds like some sort of measurement.
Okay, so we got sound here, and Sam on his Facebook Live is getting sound.
Yeah, I can hear it. I'm sorry.
So, all right. So we're going to keep on rolling. All right. So a metric is a measurement, a system of measurements. Like in the metric system, we have the kilo, kiloton, kiloliter, kilo. We have the meter, kilometer, kilometer, kilowatt, 1,000 watts. We have the metric system is measurement. And a metric is how you measure something. And, in leadership circles, we talk about how do you measure success, and success is always, you always have to have a measurement to know, to understand when you see, or when you're done with something.
Right.
How do you know that you're done? What is your measurement tool? So how do you know, you used to be a coach, how did you know when you were succeeding as a coach?
If we were winning.
Winning. How did you know if you were winning?
If I had more runs scored than the opposing team.
Okay. And that's how you defined success.
That's one of the ways, yeah.
Well, what's another way?
Well, we also want to look at player development to make sure that their numbers were getting, their metrics were getting higher.
What did y'all measure?
Well, we did everything: batting average, on base percentage, fielding percentage. With pitchers, we looked at their ERA. These were all metrics to determine how good or how bad they were, and you added all that up, and hopefully it translated into runs, which then hopefully translated into wins.
Yeah, sort of like the money ball.
That's right.
Yeah, just looking at the fundamentals, the metrics, the things you can
yeah.
measure. And in leadership circles, we talk about how do you measure success in any church. One of the numbers you look at is attendance, average worship attendance, but that is not always the picture. We also look at more ethereal things like spiritual formation and growth and development. So tonight when we read and hear the scriptures say, don't be conformed to the world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may prove what the will of God is, that which is good and acceptable and perfect. How do we know? How do we know what that good and acceptable and perfect will is, Sam? How do we know what the will of God is? Because it's saying that if we're not conformed to the world, but transformed, I still think that makes a good rap song. Don't be conformed, but be transformed. Don't be conformed, but be transformed. Right. So that's the end of my rap career. Don't be conformed, but be transformed by the renewing of your minds, so that you may prove what the will of God is. And I assume that means by our actions and by the way we live, that we're going to prove the will of God. But we got to understand, how do we measure how do we measure that? How do we know what is good and acceptable and perfect? And we have to have a metric that we use to define that success and define that measurement. So what is the metric? Okay, so in baseball,
Mhm.
right? You're a big baseball fan, right?
I am.
Who's your favorite baseball team?
The Chicago Cubs.
Really?
The Chicago
The
Cubs.
Cubbies?
The 3-time World Series champion Cubs.
The Cubbies. What 3 times?
The 3 times, 1907, 1908, and 2016.
That was a long drought.
Nah, but we don't matter. That doesn't matter.
That's a long drought. That's a long time.
108 years.
108 years between world championships. But you were faithful.
I was.
Right. So the Cubbies in baseball, what was their batting average for the team? You know, the year they won.
The year they won the series, I don't even remember what it was, to be honest with you, because
Well, let me ask you this: in baseball in general,
yeah,
what's an average batting average for a player
Oh
over
my
a
gosh.
lifetime?
over a lifetime, anywhere between 250 and 300.
That means they
Quarter of the time,
1 out of 4.
will get a hit.
Wow! So go up to the bat 4 times and
Mhm. Yeah,
only 1 time out of those 4
that's right.
get a hit. Wow! So if I was to tell you I knew a guy that hit nearly 400,
Mm.
that's pretty good, huh?
He's gonna be a Hall of Famer if it's lifetime.
And it was lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think that was?
Was that Ty Cobb?
Ty Cobb got very close.
Yeah, Pete Rose,
Pete Rose got very close.
Ted Williams.
Ted Williams got very close.
Well, it wasn't the Babe, because he also had the most strikeouts. Give me a hint.
Played for the Giants.
Willie McCovey.
No,
Um,
I'll tell you later. So if you're batting 400 for a lifetime, that's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
You listed Giants there, right?
oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Um,
And none of those guys ever got to 400 lifetime.
Right.
I mean, they got close.
so that's still less than 50%.
It is, yeah.
Babe Ruth didn't hit a home run every time he got up.
Mm.
Right. So we measure success by comparing people to Babe Ruth, right? Who is the standard of comparison on hitting? Like, who's the best hitter ever lived?
Best hitter is going to have to be Pete Rose.
Pete Rose, best on base percentage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over
Statistic.
4,200 hits.
Right.
Like,
Right. So you compare them if you're looking for just on base percentage, guys that put the ball in play, got on, hustle, Charlie Hustle. You look them comparing to Pete Rose. Like power hitters, who do you compare? Like who's the standard of comparison?
oh, that would be guys like Bonds and McGuire. Are we talking the steroids era, or are we,
Pre-steroids era.
Pre-steroids era. Ooh, that's going to be tough because
61.
Maris.
Yeah, Roger Maris.
Yeah.
Right.
Mantle.
Mantle.
Ernie Banks, Cubs.
Yeah.
Billy Williams, those guys.
Right.
Sammy Sosa.
What about pitching? Who do you measure for?
Nolan Ryan. Nobody ever got close to the guy. 7 no-hitters throughout his whole career.
Yeah, tough. Played until his 40s.
I mean, he threw his last no-hitter when he was 45. That's older than me.
That's older. That's younger than me. But yeah,
Not by much.
not by much though. So it's important, right? Who's the
Yeah.
greatest manager of all time? You think
Oh gosh, that one. Sandy Koufax,
Yogi Berra?
Yogi Berra. I'd have to throw Joe Madden in there. I have to throw Tony La Russa in there. For those of you, my Cardinal friends watching, I'll give Tony his due. Tommy Lasorda.
I love Tommy Lasorda.
Billy Martin, one of my favorites.
Billy.
Yeah.
That's an interesting thing. So we tell if somebody's good by comparing them to somebody,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I grew up, and in 1989, I watched the Los Angeles Dodgers beat the Oakland Athletics in the World Series when they were never supposed to.
Mhm.
And I watched a guy walk out on base to hit with 2 torn Achilles tendons
Kirk Gibson.
in game 1,
1988.
1988. In game 1, could not run.
Mhm.
Only reason he was brought up was to hit a home run.
Mhm.
So statistically speaking, he should have failed, and he hit a home run. Yeah. Right? And he did the,
I can't believe what I just saw. That's what the
Right.
announcer said. Yeah.
So we measure that as one of the standards of measurement for like great moments, walk-off moments. I remember listening to the 1980. I know you like hockey, right?
Mm.
like hockey.
Mhm.
Uh-huh. I remember watching and listening to the U.S. Olympic team
Oh,
beat the Soviets in 1980,
Lake Placid.
Lake Placid. Do you believe in miracles, right?
Mhm.
Right.
Miracle on Ice. Yep.
So if we have human people that we measure folks athletically against, and that's our metrics, right?
Mhm.
That's our standards. So who should we as Christians measure ourselves against? So that we do know, let me see if I can get the words right here again. Hold on half a second. So that we do know what the good and acceptable and perfect will of God is. How do we, is there a person or a thing that we measure? Is there a standard? Is there a metric that we as Christians should use?
Mhm.
What is it?
That would be Christ.
Jesus.
That would be
Christ,
Christ.
Jesus to Christ. Yeah, because a lot of times we compare ourselves to each other. We're like, well, at least I'm not a him, right? At least I don't root for the Cubbies, right? So we measure ourselves against each other, right?
That's right.
Everybody can look at me and go, well, I have trouble singing, but at least I don't sing as bad as Sparks, right? Right? I mean, yeah, right? Or, I may tell bad jokes, but at least I don't tell dad jokes, right? Right?
My patented dad jokes.
Right?
Yep.
So we measure ourselves against each other. We tend to look at each other and say, hey, I'm better than so and so.
Mhm.
But in the end, that's not the standard of measurement, is
Right.
it? It's Jesus. Jesus is the standard that we measure all goodness, all rightness, all holiness by, that we use to figure out what is good and acceptable and perfect. We ask, what does Jesus' life and his revelation tell us? Seems to me that if I'm comparing myself to somebody in the world, I'm being conformed to it, right?
Yeah.
Because if I watch great hitters, I can develop a swing like DiMaggio,
Mhm.
right? Or a swing like Mantle,
Mhm.
or a swing like the Babe, or McGuire, or Sosa,
Mhm.
or Bonds,
They were all unique.
right?
All had unique stances.
All of them had unique stances. Everybody. What was the guy that did this? Always jacked his elbow. Anybody remember?
Yeah.
He did,
My favorite is Craig Counsell, who always
Yeah.
stuck his bat up in the air.
Yeah,
He
strange.
But it worked for him.
No, I mean people that pitched would. They tell you don't throw sidearm, but there was a couple of guys that were just great
submarine
sidearm, like
pitcher,
come
yeah.
in from
Mhm.
underneath side and just you
Mhm.
couldn't see it, couldn't see the laces, didn't know where it was coming from. When we start looking at those measurements, then we start measuring ourselves by the order of the world. The world tells us what is good and right and just and true and pure. We look to the world to define the standard rather than looking to Jesus. We measure goodness, rightness by the wrong standards.
Mhm.
That's sometimes why we miss the mark. You know what missing the mark is, right?
Mhm.
It's called sin. Right? Sin is missing the mark. And by missing the mark, we are setting ourselves up for ultimate failure because we don't use the right metrics. Now, I'm also telling you that I'm not going to be perfect either. It's okay. Right? An average hitter in the major leagues is batting 250 to 300. Right?
That's
An
if they're good.
exceptional,
And that's if they're good.
an exceptional hitter is going to go close to 4. Right? Hall of Famer. Right? How many times do you think a batter walks up to the plate in a single season? 164 games.
Well, there's the actual at bats, and then there's the official at bats. Because if they get walked, it's not an official at bat.
Right.
So you got that kind of stuff. But hundreds of times.
Right? And yet, Roger Maris set the World Series with the home run hitting record with 61.
That's right.
Just 61 times in a whole season. That's less than 1 a game.
I mean, it took Hank Aaron over 2,000 extra at bats to break Babe Ruth's record.
Over the number that
Over the number of Babe Ruth.
Yeah. You and I are not going to be perfect, but we still got to use the right measurements. We still got to shoot for the right level. And so we should ask ourselves not what the world thinks or am I better than the world? At least I'm not. If you ever hear yourself saying at least I'm not, we're probably missing the mark. You got to aim for the right spot. We have to see clearly. In baseball, you have to see the laces. That's why I couldn't hit. I was a horrible hitter. I couldn't see the laces. Actually couldn't even see the ball when it left the pitcher's hand. I couldn't see it. Can't see it. Still can't see it. I couldn't see it. To understand what the metric is, we have to see the metric. That means we have to see Christ. And the way we see Christ is through seeing him in his word. The word about him, the testimony of him. And in the Old Testament, in all of the words and the prophecies pointing to him. So let's use the right metrics. Let's measure ourselves correctly. Let us not be conformed to the world, the standards that the world sets, but let us be transformed into the image of Christ by the renewing of our minds. And then when we measure ourselves rightly, then we can know if we're making progress. Right? Yep. Not so that we feel bad or have a guilt trip or we're accused. No, so that we know if we're getting better. That's what your girls, when they play for you, wanted to know is, am I getting better? Right?
Yeah, that's it.
That's what every baseball player wants to know is, am I getting better? Am I getting better? And the only way we know that is to measure it by the right measurements. So won't you join me in looking to the right measurements and the right author and finisher of our faith? Sam, will you pray for us?
Gracious God, we come to you today full of thanks for being the standard by which we measure ourselves, God. Even though we know we won't ever measure up. Just teach us and continue to guide us and show us the way to not just read the word, but to use it, to be faithful in it, to live it, so that we can measure up to the person whom you created in your image as we go throughout our faith journey, all the days. It's in your Son's name we pray. Amen.
You want to know who that guy was that nearly hit 400?
Yes, Giants, huh? I'm trying to think. Give me a year.
Tony Gwynn.
Tony Gwynn. How did I forget Tony?
Tony Gwynn.
One of the greatest, finest hitters.
One of the greatest hitters ever. One of the purest swings ever in baseball. Almost a perfect pure swing.
Andy Pressman, if you're watching, I'm so sorry. You may
groaning.
He may be already commented. You got to say Tony Gwynn. Goodness gracious.
Tony Gwynn. Great hitter. Nice guy.
Yeah. Gone too soon.
Yeah.
God rest his soul.
Yeah. Great hitter. Great guy. Got a son.
Tony Gwynn Jr.
Yeah. A lot of Cecil Fielder.
Makes me feel good to be able to talk about baseball since there ain't none right now. At least not at the professional level.
That's right.
But your son's playing, so hey.
Go White Sox.
He plays for the White Sox?
Yeah, that's hard for you.
It's the South Haven White Sox.
South Haven
okay.
White Sox. That's right.
We'll live with it.
So Subway Series. We're over in South Haven.
The Goodman Road Series. Well, hey, y'all. Like I said, it's good to be back. It's good to see y'all. How is it with your soul? How is it with your soul, Stephen?
I'm good. Good to have you back.
Thanks for holding the fort down.
Thank you. VBS is coming up.
Yeah,
excited about that. Yeah, it's summertime. It's summertime. It's hot.
Meteorological summer, they say. Yeah.
It is hot. But yeah, it's been a rough couple of weeks. There's a lot been going on. Had a couple of funerals this week, and still praying with the families on both of those. Yeah. So getting ready for Sunday. Ready for worship Sunday. Yep. A lot going on. Yep.
So what's all this in the background? You see the sign that we have behind us says focus.
I thought that was your hint to me.
No, I actually, when you were talking about seeing us in the metrics thing, you were talking about seeing us clearly. I'm looking at the word focus going, oh, I wonder if he is thinking about that being back there.
I thought you put that up there as a hint to me to keep my mind on what I'm supposed to be and don't be chasing rabbits.
That is the work of our children's coordinator, Sarah Kirchhoff, and friends and
family.
Sarah. And they are getting ready for Maples virtual VBS. Can you believe, Stephen, it's already time for VBS? Now, it's going to look a lot different this year.
I can't wait for the cookies and Kool-Aid.
Amen. So I mean, if I know people that want to register, is it too late to register?
No, you can register all the way up until the day of and even into the week of if you missed the first day. Yeah, you can register anytime. Go to Eventbrite.
Eventbrite, yeah.
And it's on our website. You go to www.mapleschurch.org,
Mhm.
and on the top banner, I think there's a purple banner
It
at the
is,
top,
it's purple,
and
yep.
you can click on it, and it'll take you right to the Eventbrite site where you can register your child for VBS. I have been derelict in my duty. I registered my daughters this afternoon. I'm so sorry, but I finally got
It's
them
not
registered.
late, yeah.
I got them registered this afternoon. It's not late. We don't start till Sunday night at 6 o'clock.
That's right. Sunday night from 6 to 8 right here on this channel.
And we
Facebook
picked
Live.
up our bags Sunday here at the church. But if you haven't picked up a supply bag, we have bags of everything you need for supplies. You can swing by the church. We'll be glad to give them out to you. There's a lot of them.
Yeah. So it's going to be Sunday every night from Sunday through Thursday, 6 to 8. It's going to be right here on this channel, Facebook, on our Facebook Live channel. I think it's also going to be on our YouTube channel,
Yep.
which is Maples Church Live. It is a little different this year. We're doing this virtually, but
We're doing it live.
I believe parts of it are going to be live. Yes, and I know Miss Lori's going to do the crafts. I know Mark and Misty Wilson are helping us out with games. I understand there may be some hair dyeing in the future because we're going to be supporting the Olive Branch Food Pantry. So feel free to drop off those items at the church this week as well.
Are we going to wash the gray right out of my hair?
That would be, you know what, if it works for me too. I shave the gray out of my hair. That's just the easiest solution.
Well, wash that.
That's right.
1,000
items, and Sarah's going to dye her hair.
Okay.
So that's if you get 50 kids in VBS and they bring 20 cans, that's 5 cans a day, you know, and 20 cans a week. Give it up to there. We'll count it, and we'll make sure that her hair gets dyed.
Good deal.
Oh, I don't know. We may surprise her with the color. But anyway, that starts Sunday.
Chartreuse.
That's neon, isn't it?
Blue.
Neon blue. Okay. Strange. So yeah, but any questions? Just like Stephen said, go to our website and
It's
register.
going to be a lot
your
of
kids.
fun. There'll be sports games.
Yes,
There will be story time.
that's right.
You've got a part in it.
I do. Yes.
So do I.
Yeah.
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 Bible
we'll be
stories.
There. We'll be there. Yeah.
Teaching.
Um,
And then, some of it's going to be recorded, but it's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to have opportunity to do your crafts at home, to get everything set. We didn't feel like we could safely do social distancing and everything with our kids the way we'd like to. So at the time we were making the decision to whether or not to have VBS or not. So we decided to go with this online option. We have no limits on the number of kids that can be here. We can provide you, if you don't have time or are not able or in a place where you can't come by here and pick up a bag, we can provide a bag to you. If you get in touch with us, we can, I guess, get it to you, but we'll also give you a packing list so that you can go purchase. It's not expensive stuff. The things you will need for each night.
we'll have a lot of them at home already.
Yeah, probably just sitting around the house. If you have children of that age, we have an art chest.
Really?
Yeah, it's plastic Walmart. Little,
Whatever works.
looks like a plastic. What do they call those things? Things you put at the end of your bed.
I
Trunk.
got- Oh yeah, the trunk. Yeah,
Little plastic
Okay.
trunk. It's
Cool.
got all our art supplies. My children like to paint,
Nice.
but not walls.
I was gonna say they don't paint the
Mm.
living room every.
They don't get any money out of it.
They don't paint the shed.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I could ask them to paint the shed.
You
Put a-
could.
put a mural on it.
hey, whatever works. But anyway, that's Sunday. So
I asked a
any
guy in
questions?
one of my church to paint me a mural once.
And
I
mural
came in-
of what?
we wanted a mural on
okay.
the children's room, and so I came in and there was a picture of his Aunt Muriel.
That was funny. Now that was funny. That was good.
I try every once in a while.
So anyway, that's VBS. Stephen, how do you think? It's been a while since I've been here. We've had a couple of services with people here. How do you think it's gone?
We've had 2 or 3. I know it feels odd for me, and I'm sure it feels odd for everybody else. We are limiting ourselves to about 80 people in here in the sanctuary. We are skipping rows. Mississippi is at phase 3, which means we're at half occupancy. We have 750 capable seats in here, so that puts us at 375. 375. So it puts us at possibly seating 375. We feel like that's probably not something that we are comfortable with our congregation doing.
Especially my size.
Well, yeah. So we're limiting again. We're living at level 2. We're requesting respectfully everyone to wear masks in the sanctuary. If you don't have one, we'll give you one. Everyone is temporally scanned as they come in to check their temperature. We will again continue to do that for the foreseeable future. We feel like that is what we can do to protect our people. We did have a very large funeral here Monday, but we had our custodians to come in and clear it with a ViraShield
Yeah, immediately.
immediately.
Yeah.
Even got your laptop, didn't
They did. They didn't even let me clear out of here.
they? Yeah. So we're taking every precaution to make sure that you, as a member of our congregation, are protected while attempting to be pastoral when we need to be. And we are attempting to keep our children that are in our daycare separate and safe as well. We are holding a 9:30 service down in Wesley Hall for additional space. We can hold up to 50 people in there. And our numbers have gone up in there each week. And so we're fumigating it with the ViraShield afterwards. Our custodial team, David and his folks, are doing a fantastic job.
They have backpacks with this stuff on.
Yeah, it looks like
Ghostbusters.
yeah, I don't know Ghostbusters action on that. They're not afraid of nobody.
No.
So it's, we're working very hard at keeping those things together. We want to respect you and do everything we can to keep you safe, while also being pastoral care. I know that there are many different views within our congregation on the necessity of all this and on the politics of all this and on the the whole COVID spring, everything that's going on this spring. There are very strong and diverse opinions. And we as a church, and I as your pastor, am doing everything I can to listen to medical experts to make safe decisions for the largest number of our folks. And at the same time, as we did Monday, to be pastoral, to care for our community, to care for those in our community and the ones that are hurting and wounded the most. So we attempt to balance all those things together. So we will be at the 80 number in the sanctuary for a considerable amount of time, requesting folks to wear face masks. I did notice a few folks taking them off. We can't make you, but we just ask. I know they're hot, they're itchy, they make your glasses fog up. But particularly when we're singing, if you're going to remove your face mask, we ask you please don't sing, because you're projecting your voice, and that again spews the droplets. Don't you like that word, spew?
Spew. I would have, yeah. And droplets.
Spews the droplets
Particles.
because they're moist. Moist droplets spewing from your mouth as you sing. And so if you don't have a cover, they go all over. We at the front do not mask up because we are greater than 15 feet away from everybody in the sanctuary. So we are taking time. So it's been different. It's good to see people back in the sanctuary. It's good to see all the folks there. And we're also keeping our virtual campus going. Thank you for watching in our online campus. It is up and running. It's still going strong. Comment, let us know that you're watching. It's a good experience for that. And hopefully that has not changed. And we commit to you that it will not change. If you're viewing us at home sometime either on Sunday morning or during the week and worshiping with us that way, your experience is not going to change. Right. If you choose to come to the sanctuary and you feel that that's a safe choice for you, then we hope your experience will be good here as well. It is good to have folks back in the building. And very pleased with what we're doing at 8:30 and 10:30. And I am very pleased at some of the new stuff happening at 9:30. If you haven't checked out the 9:30 service, it is live streaming as well. We have 2 services in our online campus, 9:30 and 10:30. And our physical campus, we have 3, 8:30, 9:30, and 10:30. We'd love for you to check out one of those.
Yeah, and if you do decide to come, we have a registration link. We'd ask that y'all just kind of do a pre-registration on Eventbrite. You should have gotten an email this morning about it, and if you're not getting our emails, please let us know. down in the
Or
comments.
they can go to the website.
Or you go to the website, yes, click on it, whatever
What's the website?
time. Mapleschurch.org. I'm going to leave off the www because this is 2020, but just messing with you. But yeah, just if you just register, and you know, the 8:30 service is usually our lower attended service, and if you think you'd like to be here but are still worried, 8:30 might be a really good option. Just saying, but check on there and see.
It's also early.
And it is early. I mean, you know, it's not early for me, but yeah, it is.
I mean,
an early
early
service.
can be good.
Early can be good, yeah. There's not much traffic in Olive Branch on a Sunday morning that early. I mean, I've
Not much
noticed.
traffic in Olive Branch on Sunday morning anyway.
Period, right? So yeah, but Eventbrite is kind of how we're helping keep.
You can hit the
Everybody's
8:30
squared.
service and then hit your Sunday school class
They can, yeah. We'll
from
talk
the car
That's right, and it's been done.
while they're going to walk through the McDonald's drive-thru
That's been done.
and bringing me and you a burrito
Now that hasn't been done. That's the next step. That's a different phase 3.
or a McGriddle.
Those are so good.
Oh.
Man. Sinful. so
Blessings
good.
on the man that invented the McGriddle.
Amen.
You are a good person.
So let's talk about because as we're opening, you know, nursery, Sunday school. What do you think? What are you thinking?
Well, right now we've chose to keep the nursery closed. We're working on ways to maybe bring that back in the next month or so that if you have small children, we can accommodate that. Our daycare is opening full time. We're trying to figure out how we can not cross pollinate some there.
Pollinate.
Well, you know what I mean, cross contaminate.
Yeah.
So we're working on that. We should have an answer for you in a few weeks on that. Sunday schools we're going to begin having a conversation with all of our Sunday schools and asking them. We've already started having that conversation today. Are they interested in coming back right now, and how can we facilitate them coming back in a safe manner? And so we'll be working with Sunday schools that are meeting online to see if we can help if they want to. And by all means, if you want to keep meeting online, please do. If you'd like to be in face, please do. We're going to have to kind of hear from you when you want to do your Sunday school, or your small group, or whatever you want, life group, however you want to call it. We don't necessarily have to do it at the 9:30 hour, particularly if you're choosing to worship at 9:30. You need to let us know which campus you're going to be in and what time you're going to be worshiping, and therefore which time do you want to have this Sunday school. We may end up with some extra Sunday school classes out of this. We don't know, but we'll be talking to all the Sunday school teachers, and so just be checking in with your Sunday school teacher on all of those things in the next few weeks. And we'll be looking at July or August to bring those back online.
So you may see a survey between now and then, just to kind of help us, just like we did with the return to worship. So be on the lookout for things like that. So, well, good. Well, thank you for that. And let me just run through some other announcements that we got here, just because we can, and we're live. Hey, youth! This is a big one. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, right here at the church softball field. We're going to have outdoor games from 7 till 9 o'clock.
That's awesome.
That is going to be awesome. So if you need to get out there, it's been really nice at night lately. I'm hoping that continues. So, but that's going to be at the softball field 7 to 9 tomorrow night. Tomorrow's Thursday. The youth summer life groups have started, and they're going really well, I think. Junior high meets on Sunday at 6:30 at my house. The high school is meeting as we speak right now at the Allen's home, and they started a college age.
Yeah, they met last night.
Met last night at Joel's place. So
I heard he cooked pizza.
That's what I heard.
How did we miss out on the pizza?
I have no
I
idea.
like pizza.
I did know
You like pizza?
I love
We
pizza.
like pizza.
Joel,
We
well, he's
missed
not
out on
Facebook.
pizza. He's not on Facebook.
But
If
still.
somebody sees Joel, tell him Sam and I like pizza too.
And if I hope he wasn't the Red Baron that we're thinking, the red hair. Sorry, bad pizza joke.
That was a really bad pizza joke. Because I'm very fond of Red Bear pizza.
Me too. I am too.
Crust is awesome. Although I have kind of gotten real fond of Paul Newman pizza.
Really?
Like
I have not tried it.
The crust is
that
really
like-
fantastic. It's really crisp, but a little.
They have
That's
like
we're
them-
just getting off topic. Let's go.
Well, actually, no. The next topic's also about food. Men's Club. If you're a man, and you are hungry, and if you want to come to the church Monday night at 6:30 and hang out with a fantastic group of guys, that come join the Maples Men's Club. We're going to have the cookout. We postponed that till next Monday. and that's going to be on the 22nd at 6:30. It's going to be around back. Back behind the kitchen. Man, just come and eat with us. We're going to have a cookout, have a little meeting. It's a great group of guys to do life with, to pray with. It's a wonderful ministry they got going on. So you're invited to that. Softball. Oh, I went and saw the Maples men's softball play last night.
I wanted to last night. At home doing stuff with the kids.
Oh, I had a blast.
Andrew had a ball game. Kids going to bed.
I had a blast. They're playing again tomorrow night, 6:30 against someone. I don't remember who it was. And then they got a whole mess of games next week. Double headers on both Tuesday and Thursday, 6:30, 7:40. They're going to be on either field 9 or field 10. They're going to have to switch at some point. But just watch on the announcements for worship. It'll show the actual games and where it's going to be. So Maples men's softball. I do have an update for the pastoral care team. A lot of our viewers may not know that we have Impact, MMPCT. That's the Maples Memorial Pastoral Care Team. And what they are, it's a great group of folks that's what they do. They help us out with pastoral care, folks that are not, that are sick, folks that are homebound, folks that are young, folks that are just checking on people. It's an army of folks that are just out there. They're so.
That's how we care for each other.
That's exactly right. And they're recruiting as well. They would like to have maybe some more help, especially men. Maybe some younger men would like to join. It's a wonderful ministry. You will be completely and totally blessed. One of the things that I'm kind of the liaison for the Impact team. I mean, I guess we both are, but it would be it would be awesome if you could join us. So if you're interested, please comment, send me a private message below. And speaking of recruiting, folks, Brennan Ballard, who is our new media director.
Yeah.
He is also about to start recruiting, and I'm going to go ahead and plug this a little early, but Brennan would like to have some help, some additional help, especially with running 2 services, 9 and 8:30, and then going all the way over there for 9:30, and then coming back for 10:30. Sound it. I mean, my goodness, it's a lot going on. So he's looking for some adults that might have an interest, may have a spiritual gift in things like this, in videography,
or just interest,
or just general interest. So be looking out for that.
You may say, I can't dance. You may say, I can't sing. You may say, I can't do anything, but can you push a button on a computer? Right?
Yeah.
Can you click a mouse?
And you don't want to miss, especially if this is something you feel called to do, you will love working with Brennan Ballard. I mean, he is just
Brennan,
as
the
good
hair
as they
Ballard.
get. Brennan, the hair Ballard. Yeah, you can't miss it. His hair is usually on time, even if he's late. So, so we're recruiting for that. He's going to be setting up a meeting, so be watching your email for that coming out. I just wanted to go ahead and get that out there since we're on virtual campus. Stephen, we got some sad news last week about the 4th of July celebration at Olive Branch.
Yeah, the the city of Olive Branch has canceled the fireworks display for this year, so we will not be having our traditional 4th of July celebration here at the church, unfortunately.
Right. So if you're thinking about that, but again, so free
next
to go.
year.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that next year.
Next year.
We got a couple of other.
You can come to stand in my street. I'll have 4 sparklers.
Sparks's Sparklers.
4.
There you go. We will be at home protecting the dog from the loud noise.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh.
A couple of things I want to plug for youth as well. Camp Lake Stevens, which, as you know, has been
shut down for the summer.
Shut down for the summer, and it still hurts to say those words.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, my goodness.
But that's my happy place.
Oh, it's so many. It's changed lives for 75 years. It's going to continue to do so.
75 years. Really?
75 years.
75. That's older than me.
Years.
Wow.
But COVID unfortunately had other plans.
Right.
But we've got a couple of things. Actually, camp has a couple of things going on. There's going to be a youth work day, July 6th, that we will be participating in. And you don't get any more socially distanced than Camp Lake Stevens. No. Honestly. I mean,
you're outside, you're in the sunshine, wind blowing. You might turn an ankle. You might get a splinter. You might get bit by a waspy.
Camp may have.
But COVID, not so much.
Well, see, camp may have been canceled, but the work did not get canceled. So there's always work. There's always stuff to do out there.
Clean up, repair.
Repair. It's a cleanup every year. It's in the woods. But that's going to be July 6th. So we're looking to take a group of youth down there, and that is going to be on a Monday. So if you got kids around the house that are not doing anything and their thumbs are getting tired from playing Xbox, PlayStation, I know a few of those kids. Come on, we'll give you that. We don't have the times or more details than that, but be watching out for that.
It'll be in the great outdoors. It'll be down at Lake Stevens. It'll be a lot of fun.
Well, that brings me to July 18th.
What's happening July 18th?
That's at Camp Lake Stevens is having a day-long retreat there.
Really?
Yes, on a Saturday.
Really?
Yes.
No spending the night.
No.
Just down and back.
Down and back for a whole Saturday.
That'd be awesome.
So, and that's, I believe, all ages too.
Is it? So that's like junior high, senior high?
And adults.
I think we better check with Joel.
Okay. I wasn't sure. But it's a whole day retreat, whereas the work day is really only just we get on there half a day, work, come back.
But anybody that wants to go as a chaperone to help out, sure call Joel. He'll be glad to
That's
have
right.
you.
I just want y'all to look at your calendars and put those 2 dates down if you're interested. July 6th for the work day, July 18th for the day-long retreat. And
That's
we'll
right.
have more information as we get it.
That's right.
So,
Again, I want to say thank you to each of you for your faithfulness in watching us on Sunday mornings. During all this, we put forth a lot of effort to get online and to bring the online campus alive. And I can't thank you enough for all that you do in supporting that with your attendance online. I want to thank members of our choir who have shown up to help out with worship, socially distanced and being responsible. Just can't thank you enough. And we're going to keep using you and putting forth the best product that we can. And I want to thank you for your faithfulness in giving. As a congregation, you have been incredible to us through this. And our church is on solid financial footing through the middle of this, and we are trying to be good stewards. Even as we're having to be creative and birth some new things and bring some new people on to accomplish what we're trying to do, you have been faithful. And I am eternally grateful and humbled by your spirit through all of this. And we thank you so much for all that you have done, you are doing, and that you will do. So keep praying for your staff. Keep praying for God to bless our church. Keep sharing our online campus stuff. The devotions every night at 6, Monday through Friday, and Saturday morning at 6. It'll be either Sam or myself. And I think we're gotten to the point now where we can say safely Saturday mornings is squarely Sam's. And most of the nights are mine, but Sam will be picking up from time to time. So you're not really sure which one of us you will see. And if we can figure out how to do the split screen, we're going to be doing some interviews on Wednesday nights with some folks. We're working on that. We want to do some split screen interviews with some new folks that are around our conference around the world. I have a friend in Africa that I want you to talk to. I want to bring him online as well. So we're going to be looking to up our content. We look at ourselves as content providers now as well. And so we're going to be bringing high quality content to you. Some that we're just going to go live, some that we will record and post, teachings, Bible studies that you can just use. It's free resources. Why is it free? Because it's not ours, it's God's.
Amen.
And so we're going to just put it out there for you. But thank you for all of your faithfulness and your continued faithfulness. Share what you see on our online campus with your friends. Invite somebody to watch church with you on Sunday morning or come to church, even if you have to go pick them up. There are people that are really hurting right now. There's people that are really lonely right now. And there's people that are really ready to hear the good news. We have a greater opportunity right now to be evangelists for the gospel of Jesus Christ than really at any point in the last 40 to 50 years that I can imagine. So let us not be conformed to the world, but let us be transformed by the renewing of our minds so that we may prove what is a perfect, acceptable, and holy will of God. And when we do that, He will bless us, He will multiply us, He will increase our territory, and daily those will be added to us, those that are being saved. Thanks for being here tonight. That's right. Thanks for being here, Sam. Thanks for being back. You got the devotion next week, dude.
I will.
Okay. So we'll be on next week, Wednesday night, 6:30.
Well, actually, it's VBS.
So 2 weeks you got the devotion. Next week we will be on VBS.
So yeah, we won't. Yeah.
No devotions next week. No No devotions at 6 o'clock. We may try to do something earlier in the day. Sam and I will be tied up with VBS at 6 o'clock every day. So I may try to do something and just post it so that you can check it out later. I may try to do it earlier in the day so that I'll get something down there. And we'll go from there. But 2 weeks, we'll be right back here with Maples
right.
Connect, and Sam will have the devotion.
Sounds good.
Sounds good?
Yep.
Thanks for being here. We love y'all. God loves you. Have a great evening.